My name is Venkata. I run a software company called InnoHat Systems Private Limited. This video is more like a frequently asked questions about our training, RPA training for homemakers. So I'm going to take this video through and answer some standard questions which keep coming up in my conversation with potential students who wants to take up this training. As I said, my name is Venkat. I am the founder and CEO of this organization, InnoHat Systems. InnoHat Systems is a short form of innovative hyper-automation systems. What do? We take up RPA related projects and RPA related trainings. This is our primary business. We are based out of Chennai. We execute projects across the globe. We conduct trainings to various sections of people on RPA. To whom all we conduct this training to? We do conduct this training to various students in various colleges. Second category of people to whom we take this training to is the homemakers who have taken a break from their career, who are looking to come back into the mainstream. Third one, we conduct this training to working professionals who are probably on their job either in IT or non-IT. If they are in non-IT, they are looking to come back into IT. If they are in IT, they are looking to upskill themselves and get into a digital transformation space. So this RPA training helps them as well. The final category is the corporates. So we help corporates also and train people, executives from various corporates on RPA. So 4 sections we cater to: students, homemakers, working professionals, and corporates. So our entire training is primarily on the RPA space. RPA is the acronym for robotic process automation. What does it mean? Any process, this is a set of technology. Robotic process automation is the technology that helps automate manual, repeatable, non-value adding, error prone, time consuming, expensive day-to-day tasks. So any organization, any industry, any function today, whoever is sitting behind the desk, they are doing lot of manual tasks. They might have the best of the ERPs, best of the applications, whether it is in the banking or in the insurance or healthcare, wherever. Still there is a big team which is sitting and doing lot of manual activity around the data. So they are doing lot of manual activity in terms of data entry, in terms of data reconciliations, data consolidation, data compilation, all those kind of activities. They are still manual activity. So robotic process automation is a technology that removes the manual activity completely and automates them, and we have a software robot to take care of those tasks. So any manual task which probably takes about 4 hours, 5 hours to complete a particular process, probably you can do it in minutes here. And you can eliminate substantially the manual portion or an intervention from there. Technically speaking, you can eliminate complete manual intervention, but because of certain requirements like validation and some requirements for secondary authentication and stuff like that, you still might require some manual interventions. So I am saying predominantly it removes the manual intervention from the job. So this is RPA. Now we are talking about a UiPath RPA training. So what is UiPath? UiPath is a market leader in the RPA software. Just as much SAP is the market leader when it comes to ERP, or Oracle is a market leader when it comes to databases, or Microsoft is a market leader when it comes to certain things like personal productivity tools or Office, Microsoft Office kind of solutions, or a mail or Outlook kind of a thing. These guys are the market leaders when it comes to RPA. So we are training on UiPath. UiPath is a zero-code software, which means in order to learn this, one doesn't need to have the coding background or coding skills. So anyone can learn this software. That is the reason we are opening this out to multiple sections of people, including homemakers, who probably might or might not have a coding background. So they can, whichever background they are from, they can learn this software and make use of this software. See, every organization, big or small, they are into 4 or 5 areas where their primary lookout is. The primary lookout for any organization is in terms of increasing efficiencies and productivity. So if somebody is doing if for a particular job is taking 5 hours with 5 people, they constantly try to see if the same job can be done with 2 people, if the same job can be done in 2 hours instead of 5 hours. So that is every organization at every function they are looking to increase the productivity, increase the efficiency. Point number 1. Point number 2, they are trying to reduce cost consistently. So if a particular task or a process takes about X amount of dollars or X amount of rupees, next time they are trying to see if they can do it in probably 50% of that cost, 40% of that cost. Is there a way by which you can reduce the cost of operations? So that is the second one. Third is compliances, improving compliances. Every organization have a set of policies, rules, guidelines. Not only that, there are governmental guidelines, governmental policies, which also organizations will have to follow. And those things are very, very mandatory and important. See, if you violate any of those policies, guidelines, and statutory guidelines and things like that, there is a very high chance that organization might face some penalties and all this kind of stuff. So compliance is a very important aspect which organizations are trying to constantly look to improve. So that is the third aspect. First one is efficiency, second one is cost, third one is compliances. Fourth one is insight. Every organization wants to see what is happening. They need to have a right insight about their business operations on a regular basis. This is the fourth aspect. Fifth aspect is they constantly looking to improve the stakeholder touchpoint experiences. Meaning what? Their interaction with their customers, with their dealers, with their partners, with their employees, with their citizens, with their patients, with their passengers, depending on which industry you are, they are trying to improve the interaction, make the user experience that much more better on a daily basis. So these are some 5 parameters every organization, irrespective of the industry they are in, irrespective of the size they are in, they are trying to improve. So RPA helps in these things. RPA helps doing these aspects faster, better and cheaper than doing it manually. So that is why most of the organizations, 90% of the organizations today have embarked on automating as many processes as possible in their organization. This has left a huge skill gap in the market. There is an absolute need for RPA consultants, and there are not many good RPA consultants available, and they are going at a premium. So a 2-year RPA consultant is demanding about 7-8 lakhs. A 3-year RPA consultant today is demanding about 9-10 lakhs or more than that, about even 12 lakhs. Those kind of numbers are going in the market, which I am not sure is a sustainable aspect, but that is crazy on the one hand, but that is how the current reality is. So what we are trying to do in InnoHat Systems is in terms of trying to bridge the gap between the requirement on one side, which is there across board, whether it is a bank or an insurance company or a hospital or a logistics company or a retail company, small and big, globally, there is a huge gap when it comes to there is a huge requirement when it comes to automation. Every organization is trying to automate. On the other side, there are not many skilled RPA consultants that are available. We are trying to bridge the gap with this kind of trainings. So that is why we said we are training multiple sections of people, students, homemakers, working professionals, corporates and things like that. So this training specifically, which I have is what we are talking about, is for homemakers, and they can also learn this and they can be employed by these organizations who are looking to implement RPA in their organizations. So this is what is the answer for the question as to why RPA, how is it important. So this course is training homemakers on UiPath RPA. It's a hands-on training on UiPath RPA. It's an experiential learning, use case driven, hands-on training on UiPath RPA. Who can learn? In the homemakers. So there are still some questions which keep coming when it comes to homemakers. I have had a career break for 10 years. I have had a career break for 15 years. Can I learn? There's another one saying that I don't have a computer background. I used to work for a bank earlier. I used to work for an insurance company earlier. I used to be in some other teaching profession earlier. I don't have a computer background. Can I learn? That is the third one. The third category is I am a graduate. In fact, a computer science graduate. I'm a postgraduate. But for some reason, I have not worked properly in a corporate environment. Can I join? So the answer for all these things is yes. Irrespective of your age, irrespective of your career break, the length of career break, it might be even 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, irrespective of your whatever background you have had, educational background. You might have done arts and science, you might have done computer science, you might have done whatever, right? Or irrespective of your work experience, you might have worked in bank or whatever, or a gender, male, female, anything, you can learn this and make use of this. We have conducted multiple batches of training of RPA for homemakers. There have been cases where I have trained people with more than 15-year breaks. There have been cases where the people who used to work for LIC and stuff like that before marriage, after marriage, they relocated themselves to US along with their husband. They have been there for 20 years. Now their kids have grown. They want to learn. So they come back and they have learned. There have been cases where I have trained a 60 plus years who's been a senior executive in an IT company, leading a large practice, a large ERP practice. So I have trained those kind of people as well. So there have been people who have come with various backgrounds, and I have trained people with the people who have done computer science, and for some reason they have not worked. They have been teachers and stuff like that. Suddenly they want to come back to the IT industry. They have learned. So this is what it is. So when it comes to homemakers, you can learn. All of them can learn, primarily because this is a zero code software. Zero code software means for any task of computing task, normally if you use a computer any language, you use C++ or Python or Visual Basic or whatever, you have to write few lines of code even to do a basic task. Suppose you are copying few from an Excel sheet, few rows from an Excel sheet and copying it in somewhere else. For that, to do that kind of a basic task, if you are doing through C++ or something like that, you write few lines of code. Here, software like UiPath have created pre-coded those steps, and they have created them as components. They call them activities in UiPath. They have created as components. They have given them in a library. So suppose if you are doing whatever kind of automation you want, you go to that library, pick the relevant activity which is relevant for your particular requirement, bring them over and pick multiple of those activities and then piece them together like a Lego block and complete your program. So you don't need to know any syntax, you don't need to know any coding language. So you just need to know which one to use what. That is what we are going to train you in that is a part of the training what you are going to undergo. So as I said, we are going to train you on UiPath, and once you complete the training, you will be able to do 4 sets of automation in that. You will be able to do Excel automation, you will be able to do web automation, you will be able to do image related automation like PDF or JPEG or any other image, and you will be able to do email automation and many process, trust me. have a combination of this. Suppose you are doing an accounts payable process end to end, probably it will have you might have to encounter an Excel reconciliation, you might have to extract information from an invoice or a PDF, then you might have to check your mails and extract information from mail or send notification to mail, or then you might have to log into some ERP application and update that information into ERP, which means it has a combination of Excel automation, PDF automation, web automation, email automation, all these four. Most of the processes will have all these four or some combinations of this. So we train you on all these four automations extensively using various modules of UiPath called UiPath Studio, UiPath Attended or Unattended Bot, Orchestrator, then Document Understanding, then RE Framework, all those kind of stuff which are very, very UiPath specific. So once you get in the initial days, you will get to know about all these things, what each one does and all this kind of stuff. But I'm just giving you an overview saying that essentially once you sign up for this in these 3 months, we will train you to do these kind of automations in Excel automation, web automation, PDF automation, or an image automation and email automation. So that is what it will S1. So that is about what we cover. A detailed curriculum, if you are interested, once you sign up or show interest and send us a mail, we will send you a detailed curriculum. It will have everything in that. But I am just giving you a broad idea as to what it is. Point number 1. Point number 2, next question is how long is the training? The training typically is for 50 hours. The 50 hours, so we do it Monday to Friday, 1 hour daily. It can be either in the morning or in the evening. Different batches have different timings depending on the composition of the batch. If the batch composition is from US students, typically it will be either in the early morning or the late evenings. If the batch composition is primarily from India, it might be during the day. So, but again, it is 1 hour daily, Monday to Friday. Saturday, Sundays, we don't have training. Like that, it can go for 50 hours. Technically speaking, 50 hours means it can be covered in less than 3 months. But in most cases, if the batch needs some time to pick up and they don't want to get rushed through and stuff like that, we help them out. We don't rush it through. We'll give in between breaks for people to try it out, feel comfortable, and invariably it will get stretched to 3 months, 3.5 months. 3 months you can take very conveniently. In some cases it may stretch to 3.5 months as well. We use Microsoft Teams to conduct the training. The classroom session is daily 1 hour. Over and above the classroom session, there is also a hand-holding session during the course of the day, India business hours. Because once you have learned something, you might want to try it out. When you try it out, you will need somebody to handhold, because when you are trying it for the first time or every time when you are trying a particular assignment or an exercise, you might encounter errors and you will need somebody to hold hands so that you will clear those doubts even before you come to the next class the next day. You don't have to carry it to the next day. So our training is not only that 50 hours of classroom sessions, but equal amount, about 50, 60, 70 hours of hand-holding sessions. We don't say that every time you log in, you don't say that you have exceeded a limit and stuff like that, because there will be a separate team which supports you on that. You will, whenever you get into doubt, you will ping them, they will call you, they will connect with you and sort out the problem. That session can go for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 1 hour, 1.5 hours, depending on your problem and your interaction with them. Yes, we provide certification that is more about course completion certificate. The actual certification which has lot of relevance and in the market is the UiPath certification. That's something which you have to write an exam with UiPath and get that. Our training will enable you to write a UiPath certification, which is a separate paid activity. It's about $150 today, for the associate certified exam. So we will enable you to write that exam and take a certification. If you have Once you become an associate certified UiPath consultant, your job prospects will go up that much in the market, because that's a very, very valuable certification. So the certification which we give is primarily for the course completion, saying that yes, you have done that. But the real certification that has value in the market is a certificate from UiPath. Will help you get that. So this is a very important question. This keeps coming up in every conversation. Will you help us get the job? I have not been in the job for 10 years. Is there first of all, will I ever get a job, and all those kind of stuff? See, the question, first of all, let me answer the first question. After 10-year break, is there a way, can I even get a job? The answer is, once you completed this course, the next day you cannot get a job. That is not going to, I am not going to tell you that. How does it work? Once you have completed this course, assuming this course goes for 3.5 months, you complete that. After that, about 1.5 months, you take your time to dip your hands into the product deeply for 1.5 hours, practice extensively. Then in about 5 months from the date you signed off, right? 3.5 months of training, about 1.5 months of practice. After 5 months, you take up a UiPath certification. Once you have taken a UiPath certification, if you have had a career break if you have had a long career break, even if you have had a career break of 3-4 years, say, it's not easy to jump into a full-time job immediately. Not many organizations would be willing to take you into a full-time role. So what you will do is, for next 6 months or so, you take up a freelance assignment. So we can also help you in freelance assignment. We can connect you to people who will give you freelance assignments. You can take up multiple projects like that with 3 or 4 partners. There are about 4,500 partners for UiPath globally, like me. So you can reach out to any of those guys in your city. For example, you are in Australia, in Melbourne, there must be 3 or 4 partners in Melbourne alone, Melbourne itself. So you can reach out to those people, or you are probably in San Francisco, you're in Santa Clara. We'll connect you to partners in Santa Clara, saying that these are the partners who are available in Santa Clara. There might be a requirement. You can reach out to them, take up a small-time assignment, part-time assignments. You build a profile for 3 to 4 months, 6 months, in terms of build your profile by doing projects on a freelance mode. After that, you can definitely you can take up a full-time assignment. This is how the whole journey will have to happen for people who have taken a break. For people who have not taken a break, who are just out of college, who still wants to do course from us, great. Once you have done the course and done a certification, there's a very, very high chance that you will get placed immediately. So that is my answer regarding job assurance. The answer is, I'll help you, but I don't assure you for the jobs. The fees for Indian students is 50,000 rupees plus GST. 50,000 plus GST. What does it cover? It covers the 3 months of classroom sessions and the hand-holding sessions put together. Roughly about 140-150 hours of training plus support is what we are talking about. It's 50,000 rupees, which roughly translates to less than 500 rupees per hour of training. Payment terms are, it is payment upfront before the course begins. We will send you the details. Whoever is interested can write to us, and we will send you the details where you will have to pay, how you will have to pay. You send that, and after that you become part of that. During the course of training, one more thing which I forgot to tell you is the entire duration of training of 3 months, that recording will be available as well for you. You can't download those recordings, but it will be available beyond 3 months for next 3-4 months for you to try it out. So it's just not my classroom training plus its recording also will be available for you, plus hand-holding support put together is this 50,000 rupees plus GST. Now when it comes to overseas students, how does it work out? It works out the same. In whichever country you are, you please convert your 50,000 rupees into your currency and pay us. In that case, there is no GST for overseas students, you just pay the 50,000 rupees. For Indian students, you have to pay 18% GST for that. So this is what is the fees and the payment terms. The question is, can I pay in monthly installments and stuff like that? Normally we don't do all those things, because Some people will not continue the training fully. If they want to drop off something like that, it's not, then it becomes messy, calling them and asking them for payment or all kind of stuff. We also don't like to keep following up for the payment. So we insist on 100% payment before the training commences. So this is the broad FAQ, frequently asked questions. I try to answer as much as possible. Beyond this, if you still have doubts, you please reach out to us on WhatsApp. You can send mail to us. We'll be more than glad to answer your questions. And finally, thank you very much for listening to this. We hope you have found it useful, and we hope you will be able to join our course. Thank you.